Now, I'm not gonna say never, but I'm gonna say probably never, maybe, question mark? Hi everybody, today I am going to be talking about some of the things I'm noticing trending in bullet journal world right now in 2021 that I don't think I will be doing. Like I said, I'm not gonna say never because I don't know if I will never do it. I never thought I would do Dutch doors or like cutting pieces of my bullet journal out to like make a little flappy flap, and now I catch myself doing that every month, so yeah, but these are things that are going on right now that at the moment I don't see myself doing. If you do any of these things, that's awesome for you. The people I've seen do them do a great job with them. They're just things I have decided are not necessary for my bullet journal experience at the moment. And I will add, if you're struggling to see your way through all of the trendy noise to figure out what you need for your bullet journal experience, I've got a video I'm gonna link right up above that might help you clarify some of that. It's a little story about how I figured out my shit, and it might help you figure out your shit, and there's just so much shit, right? So much shit. Number one, and this is something I have actually seen a lot recently. I know this isn't new. None of these are new. A lot of these things have been happening before. They're just things that I see pop up again and again when I scroll through like the recommended pages and shit like that on Instagram. This is all because I'm back on Instagram, you guys. And that is gluing paper into your bullet journal. The one I've seen the most, and probably the one I am most likely to try if I decide to, is craft paper, like that brown paper. I've seen a lot of that, like ripped paper, using it for layers, drawing calendars on top of it, doing doodles like half on, half off. Like, it looks really pretty, and I actually really enjoy looking at spreads that have torn paper, whether it's craft paper or whether it's a different color of paper or whatever the case may be. The biggest reason I don't see myself doing this anytime in the near future is that I do not like the feel of writing on a piece of paper and feeling like the lumpiness from paper on the other side of it. Now you may ask, Cindy, you've always put stickers in your planner. Does that bother you? Yeah, actually it did bother me when I would do it, but I really loved using stickers, so I dealt with it. While I like looking at torn paper in bullet journals, I have no interest in doing it in my bullet journal. There's not enough want of the aesthetic of it for me to deal with the annoyingness of feeling that little bit of lumpiness as you write. The one thing I will do from time to time, and I have done it before on camera, is when I screw up bad enough where I want to cut a piece of like matching dot grid paper and put it over that to start over again. But that is a rare occurrence. Normally I just freeball it and let my mistakes fly because I'm lazy. Number two is not new. Again, I keep saying this, none of these are new, but like number two is one that I saw in a lot of people's 2021 like yearly spreads, but I also keep seeing floating around. And I've seen this floating around for a while, and it's just never been something I've been interested in doing, and that is those like currently spreads or playlist spreads, what I'm listening to spreads, what I'm reading spreads. I just filled out my power sheets for this month, and there's a part where that asks you what you read this month, and even that felt kind of silly for me to write in because I already keep track of it on Goodreads. I already have a little checker that I'm checking off every time I read a book. Like, I read so many books each month, or at least that's my goal, that I don't really feel like listing them. I understand people want to. Again, this is not me talking shit on the trend. It is mostly just that like I don't really feel the need to. I don't listen to a lot of new stuff. I kind of do once in a while. So if I look at my Spotify, I can see what I've been listening to. Same with podcasts, same with reading. I'm boring. I'm just not adventurous in a lot of those ways, and I have no real itch to keep track of what I'm doing in any given month. Number three will be no shock to any of you who have been following my weekly bullet journal setups, because it is one of those things that I am mystified by. I think it is so cool to look at, but for some reason I have zero interest in actually doing it in my bullet journal, and that is elaborate paintings. People who either paint on watercolor paper and then glue it into their bullet journal, or paint directly into their journals. Kind of hand in hand to this is my current dislike of 160 GSM paper. It's just too thick for what I want in my bullet journal. I like paper that kind of has a feel like you've used it, and that paper always feels super crisp and like unused to me, probably because I don't paint on it that much. I love painting, but my painting hobby and my bullet journal hobby, I feel like for me they're like oil and water. I don't want them mixing with each other. I feel like they'll repel each other, even though I've seen so many other people do beautiful, beautiful work in their bullet journals. To me, I feel like it would be crossing the streams like in Ghostbusters. It's just not something that appeals to me. I don't mind doodling in my bullet journal because I've doodled in my planners and it's just always been sort of a thing I've done. But when it comes to painting, I sort of keep that for painting. I will just limit my painting and bullet journal experience to seeing what other people do. If elaborate paintings in bullet journals, I can see a little bit because I love to paint, but I just don't want to paint in my bullet journal. If that's like familiar, but no, I don't want to cross the streams. And this other one to me is like fascinating and I have no real thought about ever doing that, but holy moly. And that is this thing I'm seeing where like people are creating like pop-up books in their bullet journal, or like elaborate Dutch door situations where it's like a thing you like kind of unfold and figure out. I remember seeing something like this, like not like this, but like a very, very small version of this in the planner community a couple of years ago when somebody, I think it might have been Once More with Love, did the stickers that were like a flap up, like the sticker stuck down. You could write something you wanted to hide on Instagram, like if you were taking pictures of your planner, and then it would have a little flap as part of the sticker, and then you could like lift it to see it. And that was like an interactive thing in your planner. But this is like some fucking like mastery where people like open it and it's all sorts of like fanciness. Like I wish I had an example for you, but I haven't saved any pictures of it. But trust me, if you have ever come across one of these pop-up bullet journal situations, you know of which I am speaking about. And if you haven't, when you do, you'll be like, oh, that's what Cindy was talking about. I can't even begin to fathom how they do that to make it all pop up. Like, I don't know. How do you wrap your mind around that? How do you wrap your mind around like cutting all the holes and everything to make it like stand up? I was one of those people who would like fold the piece of paper to do the snowflake where you cut the bits and pieces of it out in school. And then I would unfold it and it would look super sad. I could never get that to work for me. Origami is something, if you watch that one where I origamied the Pokemon, like that's frustrating for me. So maybe this kind of type of paper crafting is just not up my alley. But like when I see these bullet journals, I have two thoughts. A, how? And B, okay, I want people to make them so I can look at them and wonder at them. It's kind of the same thing. Like looking at those MC Escher paintings, the ones with like the stairs, and wondering how the fuck, where you wonder kind of how he blocked those stairs out in the first place. The thought of writing on top of like a folded over page with all of those little paper cuts out and everything. Remember I always said the craft paper in the journal might horrify me? That gives me like the heebie-jeebies. So we're just not gonna go down that rabbit hole, I don't think. Not at all. And my last trendy thing is not actually something that is in your bullet journal as much as it is a prop. I had a conversation on my weekly plan with me where I talked about props and how I don't really get it, but this is like a prop in like bullet journal videos and bullet journal pictures, and that is tea. I actually love tea. RJ and I have been having tea times most days. We've been going through a sampler from David's Tea to find ones that we like. He and I both will get down on any kind of tea. Hot tea, iced tea, caffeinated, green tea, black tea, herbal tea. I love me a good white iced tea. I love drinking tea, but here's the thing, my guys. I will never put my cup of tea, glass of water, my water bottle, my can of ginger ale, none of those things go near my bullet journal because I am clumsy as fuck. Clumsy as fuck. And I will knock that shit over on my bullet journal and I will be a sad panda. Not to mention the fact that on my desk I also have my computer and my keyboard and my iPad, and I need to keep the tea or whatever else, the liquid product away from where I am working, away from where I am gesturing. And when I film a bullet journal video, I am gesturing quite a bit. So my drinks stay on a coaster on the way other side of my desk, so I do not risk getting it on my bullet journal. And even if I was gonna like film myself stirring the tea before a bullet journal video, like to me that just, I don't equate the two together. I might light a candle when I'm bullet journaling. I'm doing it right now, but it's because my kid made some scallion pancakes from Trader Joe's in the oven earlier, and the smell of that makes me super nauseated. But those kinds of props in my bullet journal, even if I might be drinking a cup of tea and sniffing a candle while I'm working on it, they don't go hand in hand for me. Now, if I'm vlogging hell yeah, I'll show my candle and my tea because that's part of my daily life. But my bullet journal and my tea need to exist on separate islands of Cindy's ocean so that the ocean does not come to my bullet journal. The tea going near my bullet journal is probably the highest on my list of will never do. There's a chance that I'll put craft paper in my journal. There may be a day when I put down what I'm currently reading. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll get good at cutting out the snowflakes and I'll want to put one in my bullet journal. But put my tea next to my bullet journal? It's not happening. I have too much respect for my leather Baron Fig cover for that. And I'm going to add an honorable mention here. This was more trendy about 2 years ago, but it's still around and it's something that people keep asking me about. So, and I mentioned it in my Q&A, but I'm going to mention it here again. My honorable mention is digital bullet journaling. I have a digital reading journal that you put in GoodNotes and you can, like, it's a paper fucking situation, but it's in your iPad, and I cannot for the life of me enjoy using it. I love lettering on my iPad and drawing on my iPad and using my iPad for other things, but when it comes to writing things down with like a pen, I prefer paper. If I'm gonna be writing things down digitally, I'm just gonna type them. It's just the way I am, man. So those are 5, 6 of the things that I don't plan on doing with my bullet journal anytime in the near future. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do you do these things and love them? Talk about them in the comments below. And if there are things that I didn't talk about that you'd love to know my take on, talk about those in the comments as well. Remember, this is not me shitting on anybody because I actually like looking at a lot of these things. I just don't want to do them. So I hope other people do so I can still look at the pictures without spilling tea on my personal bullet journal. It's all in the spirit of good fun, and I'd love to hear from you in the spirit of good fun in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask, do all of those things because, God damn it, we are going to get through this together, you guys. And until next time, peace.